Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of the Pursuit of Precision podcast with Paul Tinaj, a restaurant owner for over 30 years here in Michigan. He had unbelievable stories from where he started off in Albania, moving and escaping the communist country to come to America with big dreams of having freedom and creating a life for himself where he could be happy and enjoy. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Let's head to it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pursuit of Precision podcast. My name is Ryan Jaros, and over the next 12 months, I am interviewing 50 of the most successful, intelligent, influential, and overall happy people that I can in order to hear their story and share with all of you guys what I learn along the way. Today, we're super grateful to have Paul Tinaj with us today. Am I pronouncing that correctly, the last name? Yes. Tinaj. And he is the owner of Paul's on Main Street here in downtown Rochester. And for obviously the guests that are all over the world, this is actually the downtown area that we shoot the podcast in. So very cool that you're a local business in the area, one that does an incredible job, has great service, and been somewhere that I've gone for a number of years. So I want to give you credit to that and want to say thank you for making the time to be here today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ryan. It's good to be here.
No, we appreciate you. We appreciate you. So if you don't mind, like I said before getting into this, I'd like to hear a little bit about where the business is today. Obviously, we know you've come a long way, and you were just telling me before we jumped on camera here that you're going to be going on your 19th year in business in Rochester. So I'd love to hear a little bit about where you guys are today, how much staff you have, kind of the flow of customers that you have come in, and just kind of tell people about your restaurant.
Yeah, actually, I want to tell you a little story about myself and my family. I am originally from Albania. In 1990, we escaped from Albania because it was a communist country for 47 years. And that time I was 18 years old, and my dad, my mom, my two brothers, and my cousin, we escaped from there. That was November 10th, 1990.
Tell us about what that looked like at that time.
That one.
Were you scared, or what? Did you know what was going on, or how old were you?
I was 18 years old.
18 years old. So you had to have known pretty
yes,
well.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, my dad, he's the hero for us. Actually, that night when we escaped, my dad was walking about 150 feet in front of us, just to make sure if soldiers, they'll hear or see anything, they'll kill him, we survive.
Wow.
And over there, because of the Communist Party, I wasn't allowed to go to school or anything like this. Just to work, whatever they tell you to do. You cannot say that you don't like the government, or you don't like the president, or I don't like the environment where I'm at, or I want to go to school. You cannot say none of that, because either you go in jail or something that will happen to you. And when we came here, it was the heaven on earth.
Yeah.
And kids and, people they born and raised here, they don't even know what they have exactly. They take everything for granted.
Yeah.
When I grow up, I need shoes, I need clothes, I need food, I need everything. And now with my kids, I got 4 kids. They said, Daddy, I want this, I want this. They have everything. When you want it, that mean it's something else that they just want it.
Yeah.
It's not like they need it.
Yeah.
Like when I grow up. And when I first came here, actually, if we work 1 hour, we got paid for 1 hour. If we want to work 10 hours, we got paid for 10 hours. It's not like it was back home that you have to work 7 days a week, and if they decided not to give you anything, they don't give you anything.
So tell me, I'm very curious. I want to hear more about that, if you don't mind going into some of those details. So What did your childhood look like then? You said, so at what point, are you saying that you had no schooling? Or
No schooling. I got like up to 8th grade.
okay.
And then I cannot even go to high school or college.
Because they needed you in the workforce? Is that the
No,
idea?
because, actually, my mom's dad, he was killed from a communism. My cousin and my dad's side was killed from communism. So we was against communism, supposedly that's how they do it. So, and then wouldn't have any rights whatsoever. So all my family, everybody was prosecuted. So you don't have any rights. So when we came here, like I said, it was heaven and earth.
So you went, from 8th grade on, you were just working. 8th grade until 18 years old, you were just working.
Yes, I was working. And then actually my dad, he knows somebody back home. And I went for a couple of years and learned how to be a tailor, not in school, but private in the city. And I become a tailor.
Okay.
And I worked for about a year back home. Mm-hmm. And then I escaped from there. When I came here, I worked for 5 years as a tailor.
Here
in,
were you in Michigan?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a factory. It's called Reed Sportswear.
Okay.
In downtown Detroit. I worked there for 5 years, from 7 in the morning till 3:20. And then from 3:20, I lived there. I got a shirt. I went back to the restaurant and washed dishes from 4 to 8.
Wow.
So I used to work 5 days a week at the factory.
And this was what year?
1991.
1991.
Yeah, because we escaped in 1990. It took us 6 months, the paperwork, to become here in the United States. And the only reason that I end up being here in Michigan was because my uncle, he escaped in 1978 when I was 6 years old. And then he was here. He was a sponsor for us. That's how we end up being here in Michigan. And then, like I was saying, from when I left the first job in the morning, it was from 3:20 till 4 o'clock. So that was the travel time.
Yeah. So, and you said you went to a restaurant.
Yes.
What was this restaurant? Just a restaurant in Detroit?
This one was actually, it was 9 mile and 10 mile in Sherwood.
Okay.
It was called Zorbus Coney Island.
Okay.
And I used to work there from 4 o'clock till 4 to 9.
And what did you do there?
I used to wash dishes.
Okay. So that was the start.
So that was the start. And in fact, I was working 5 days a week. And then in the restaurant, I was working 7 days a week. So I have Saturday and Sunday off in the factory. I work those
Saturday and Sunday at the
Sunday.
So I'm curious. I have a question in regards to this then. So obviously you came in. Can you talk me through your mindset in terms of why you were so driven to work? Was it because of what you said in regards to the freedom to be able to work as much as you want and make as much money as you want? Was that the thought process back then?
Correct.
Okay, because I mean, that's not normal, especially for people that grew up here.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the thing was, we were my dad, my mom, and 2 brothers. I was the oldest one, and my brothers are younger than me. So both of them, actually, they was working even in young age. My brother, he was 13 years old.
Yep.
And I remember, today, he was working as a busboy at 11 Mile in DeQuinder. It was a ram's horn. I remember one day, the second shift doesn't show up, and they ask him if he wants to work afternoon. And he goes, okay. And then the third shift doesn't show up, so he end up working 24 hours, in 24 hours. And the thing is, when we first came here, me, myself, I don't speak any English.
Yeah.
I don't have any income. And we were a family of 5. So we all work together. And we know that we have a dream.
What was the dream at that time? I'm curious.
The biggest dream at that time, like to have a freedom. My dad was 53 years old when he escaped from there with us.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, far as my life, he goes, I can live here now for the rest of my life. I'll be okay. But the main goal for him was to escape from there, to free us up, and to go to school and get educated.
Yeah.
So that he never can do that back there. And then finally when he came here, and then my brother, he finished the college in business degree, and my other one, he went to a Grosse Pointe High School, and then he went to Ohio State, and he became an attorney.
Oh, wow.
Now he's a very successful attorney. And like I said, when we first came here, I didn't even speak any English. I don't know how to drive.
Well, this is interesting, though, because...
So we just land from the sky.
Well, you were in such a different situation, though, because, right, you were 18, so you would have been out of high school at that point, right? So so how old, I guess, what was the age difference where... So you said one of your brothers finished at Grosse Pointe?
5 years apart.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'm the oldest. And
got it.
So in that time, I cannot afford it to go to school.
Yeah.
Because me and my dad and my mom, we have to work and provide the family.
Yep.
So, and then we start working. My mom, my dad, my brother, he was young, but he still was working, after school and things like that. And we saw the opportunity here that you can do anything you want to do. If you want to work, you can work.
What gave you that feeling? I'm curious because, again, you came in as an outsider at that point, and I think this is a very important perspective, right? You come in and you come into this new country, and you see nothing but opportunity, right? You think, holy smokes, I can do and be whatever I want to be.
Exactly.
Coming from somewhere where that was not the case.
Exactly.
What can you tell me about what about America gave you that feeling? Was it the way that people talk to you, the way that what gave you that feeling? Because I don't think that Americans have that feeling necessarily.
No, they don't have it. Thanks God they don't have it like in one way, because it would be like we used to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like when we came from over there was the bottom.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have no future.
Yeah.
So whatever we do, we just try to survive.
Okay.
But sometimes when tough times, they make you tough.
Yeah.
And when it's everything easy, and then sometimes it's not that great for the future.
Yeah.
Because you don't even appreciate like what you have. Mm-hmm. And you don't even know how it is when you're in habit.
Yeah. Is there something, I guess, is there something that you could say, maybe a piece of advice? Well, that is a difficult thing. If someone doesn't grow up with that perspective, how do they get that same sense of motivation and purpose that you have without growing up that way?
But actually, like anytime that you have a opportunity or you have a plan, when you get to that level, you never stop.
Yeah.
So always look for more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't be happy with what you have.
Yeah.
So always look for more. And then when you work hard and when you want to do something, you'll do it. But my dad say one word like it's in Albanian it sounds better. If you want to do something don't wait. So if you said, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it or if I don't," he goes, "Start." When you start, you always do it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just thinking, I don't know, should I, should not, and then you never, you're never sure. So you go start when you think good, when you want it something that you want to be good. He goes, always you be successful.
Yeah, if you just get started.
Just start it, yes.
Oh, that's very valuable. It's really valuable. All right, so I want to go back to where we were at in the story. So you at that point, your mother and your father were all working. That was the core that was kind of supporting the family while your younger brothers were in school.
Correct.
Okay. I'm curious to hear, is that something that you guys, they've expressed gratitude to you guys for allowing them to ultimately go through school, get educated, and go on a different path?
Oh yeah, the main goal for my dad was to bring us here and to have the opportunity to go to school and everything like that. So thanks God, like all his dreams, they become true.
Yeah.
And we are very proud of him, and he's very proud of us, because like we all, succeed with the hard work.
Yeah.
And he's
all in different ways, it sounds like,
exactly,
too.
Yes. And then in 1997.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to hear about the early years. So everybody was working at that point in time?
Everybody was working that time, and my mom and my dad and my brothers, I was the only one who was working in the factory as a tailor.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, like I said, we were working in restaurants also. And then 1997, my dad found a restaurant that some friend of his used to own it. And this one was in East Jefferson, downtown Detroit.
Is this someone he knew from back home, or just from your guys' background?
Here. Yeah, from here.
Okay.
And actually, he made the deal with him and everything, and finally, we went to a restaurant business.
Okay.
So we started.
So what was your first role at that time?
When we got the first place, that one was open from 7 o'clock till 3 o'clock afternoon.
Okay.
And the role was just to make sure whatever who walks to that door, it got the warm welcome feeling.
Yep.
Like they're at their home.
Yeah.
The main thing is like it was like quality, fresh, and clean. So as Albanians, we have that in general.
Okay. That's something from back home, even though there was a lot of stuff that was not good there.
From back home, yeah. We were raised poor and everything, but we are so generous to people, to guests, to everybody. Like it's something that I think like no other people has it.
Yeah. Do you think
in general?
This is just my looking at it from a different perspective. Do you think that comes from the fact that everybody's kind of struggling, so everybody kind of needs to support each other? Do you think that might be some of it?
That could be too. Yes. And then we bought the first restaurant, and we were very, very successful there.
Okay.
We all work hard.
So who was all participating at this point in time?
So like my dad, my mom, me, and my other brother. The other one was still young, and he was in college and things like that. But anytime that he was home, he come and help us, or at least he comes to eat.
And was it just family at that point, or did you have anybody else that was hired at that point?
That time, most of them were the family, but we have like probably five or six employees that time.
Okay.
Because we were working like long hours. And the thing is like when you work for yourself, you never look at the time.
No, definitely not.
And you just want to make sure that everything it's taken care and never look at the time.
So I'm curious it doesn't sound like your background was in restaurants.
No, it wasn't.
And so I'm curious to hear how those early years, what did you learn during those early years in regards to having a restaurant?
The thing was like my dad, he was always looking to have the family work together.
Oh, like a family
A
business.
family business. That's how you can become more successful and short term than being individually.
Mm.
So that time, like we used to live together and work together.
It makes sense to support, for everybody to support each other.
To support each other.
It makes a ton of sense because if everybody's working different schedules and different locations, I'm sure it's very hard.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
But that's that one was the key thing, for our success.
And what did you learn? I mean, obviously, who was the cook? Where did you guys learn about food, or what? How did that all play out?
Like when we first came, like it wasn't the economy wasn't that great, 1990s, and I remember my first job was right before I started at the factory. I started washing dishes, and for 2 weeks, I worked for free. That time,
Okay.
from 4 to 8 o'clock,
Okay.
just to learn how to wash dishes. And I was happy because I said, after 2 weeks, I know I got a job.
And you learned a skill that you could.
So I learned that, and then like on free time, I used to go and cook my own food. And that's how I learned cooking. And then little by little, if you don't do everything step by step, and then it's not that easy to run it.
Yeah.
But when you know from the dishwasher to a cook to a chef to a manager to owner, and then it's easy to complete everything.
Yeah, you understand all the rules
Yes.
involved. That makes a ton of sense. I think that what stands out to me mostly is the fact that I think you guys had really good intentions. And even though that maybe you hadn't been in the industry of restaurants for a long time or knew a ton about cooking or anything of that nature, it sounded like you wanted to create an environment where people felt like they were at home. And I think by you giving your best and trying to, and through the advice of your dad, starting to figure it out, that's how you guys were able to start building some success.
Yeah, that's true. And then from there, we opened another location in Cadillac Square, downtown Detroit.
Okay. Is this a second
yes.
separate location, or did you move?
Separate.
Okay, so you had two at that time.
Yes, two at that time. And then from there, we opened another one, 7.5 in Van Dyke.
So three at one time.
At one time, and then we opened another one again, 8 in Cali. And then from 8 in Cali, and then we bought the restaurants, build it, remodel and everything, and then keep it for 2-3 years, and then we sold it.
Oh, okay.
So we took them from nothing and open her up, remodel, and then business was great. Everywhere we go, business was after us. People, they were following us from one restaurant to the other, and we felt like a family with everybody.
And what were these all called?
They was called Motown Cafe and Grill.
They all of them were the same name?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Because when we first bought it, the restaurant was called Motown Cafe and Grill.
Okay.
And then we opened the other 3 with the same name.
Okay. So I guess tell me about how that you just jumped through a bunch of different stuff very quickly. So you started off with the single location. First off, what made you guys say, instead of just continuing to grow and improve and stay busy at the one, what made you guys decide, hey, I think we can do another location?
Actually, we saw the opportunity, we bought that place for cheap because there was no business whatsoever. I never forget that when I look at that one in Cadillac Square, the owner, he goes, we were busy one day. He goes, we make like $300 a day, and I close for 2 days to rest. And
it was a restaurant?
It was a restaurant.
Okay.
It was a restaurant, but there was no business at all.
Yeah.
And then we took it over, and then we remodel everything from A to Z with new equipment and new. We got our menu from the other place, and like I said, with good food, quality, and it never lets you down. And if you treat the customers like you want to be treated, they always come back, and they always appreciate, because they know.
Yeah.
They go everywhere. They might work today here in Rochester, but they might live in Troy. They might work in downtown Detroit, but they live in Rochester. So they go for lunch, they go for dinner. They know the food, they know the quality, they know the service.
So there's trust involved in the brand that you created.
Involved.
Yeah, that's interesting. So who would you say had maybe the business mindset to say, okay, let's just keep repeating what we're doing here? Because that obviously was not something that was your guys' background from being back home.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. But
how did you guys learn a lot of those skills?
All that was our dad. He is a going person. Even though he doesn't speak in English, or he doesn't have the school or anything like this, but he's a going person, and that's how we start with the first one, and then from that one we learn, and then from one to the other, and here we are today. Like we came in 2005 in September.
And so I guess I want to hear on so as you continue to open up these new ones over down there, you said you were selling them?
Correct.
Did you keep, how many did you have at one time before you started selling?
Two at the same time.
Okay, so you had the original one, then you opened the second one.
Correct.
Then you sold the original one?
Correct.
And then you opened up, okay.
Yes.
So what was kind of the game plan instead of keeping all of them at once?
Like we were, the thing is, like when we were there, we want to do everything to make sure that it's done right.
Yeah. So
we said, if we open like 2 or 3, like in the same time and keep it all of them, we cannot give them the service they want them.
Because you're not going to be able to be there.
We're not going to be available to be there. And we like to be in touch with customers. We like to, talk to them and give them the service that we wanted.
Yeah.
And then, like sometime like worker is a worker. They do the best, but sometimes, like maybe they look at the time because they want to go home.
Yeah.
It's, so that's why like we just keep buying, build a business, and then we sold it.
Okay.
And actually, they are all still in business today.
They are?
Yes.
That's cool. So when's the last time you went to even the original one?
Actually, it's been a few years. But anytime when I'm there, I just drove by.
That's so cool.
Because there are a lot of members there.
Is it the same person you sold it to?
No, it's a
couple owners.
Yes, couple owners. Yes.
Wow, that's really special because that shows. I mean, I guess here's a question: is how similar are the changes that you made originally when you made it into what it was? Obviously, you turned it into a successful business. How many of those things are still in place that you implemented? Did they change a lot of stuff since then, or
3 of them? They still the same.
Okay. Same menu and everything?
Same menu and everything.
Wow.
Same menu and everything.
That's incredible.
They might upgrade it, like prices and things like that. But still same name, same everything.
That's incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible to think about because those decisions that you made 20-something years ago, 25, 26, 27 years ago.
It's still working.
It is still working
and
today.
Even for them, yep.
Do you ever think back like that's incredible to realize that you were able to come into the industry and make that good a decision so early on before you really knew much. Why do you think that was able to happen? Is it
actually what we did? We put the best product there, and that's the only reason I think it's still going the same thing now.
Yeah. And I mean, well, I guess that's a huge factor then, because the big part that you emphasized was how important you being there and the people that are in there to make it feel like home.
Yes. Another thing is like even the people who bought it, they were Albanian also.
Okay.
And they work with their families.
Okay, so they almost repeated the same thing you were doing anyways.
Same thing, yes.
Wow. So we went through the sequences, we sold them all. When did you sell the last one?
Last one was in early 2005.
Okay, so you got rid of it before you moved to Rochester,
yes,
then?
Right before. Actually, I was talking to the owner here before I moved from there. So I really love Rochester.
I was gonna ask, because I mean you stayed in Detroit the whole time before then, right?
Yes.
So it was Detroit for 5 locations?
Yes.
Detroit for 5 locations. When did you start going to Rochester, thinking about Rochester? When did you start having interest?
Right 2-3 years before I moved here.
Okay.
And actually, we bought a lot here at Rochester, and then we started building the house there right before we moved here.
Okay.
And so in 2005, we bought this, used to be Louis Country Kitchen.
Okay.
And then when we first came here, actually, we want to name it after my dad's name. His name is George. Mm-hmm. But it was George's Coney Island down the streets, George's Pizza here. So and then we don't want to mess up, names.
Yep.
And then we name it after me.
Wow.
Paul's on Main Street.
So what intrigued you about Rochester? Because and were you scared at that point? Because you knew the Detroit market very, very well. And like you said, people might live in different spots, but you were moving your business 45 to an hour away from where your business was before. Yeah. Were you worried about that?
Telling the truth, like it was a little bit different. It was a little bit different. We used to live in Hamtramck for almost 15 years there. And then when we first came here, I don't know, like in the beginning, it looks, I was a little bit afraid how people they react here. I was like, it seems like I don't belong, like here, like 100%, because, like I don't know anybody. And I don't know how they're gonna, how I'm gonna, see myself, like around them, because that time, like everybody in here, like they are high-end area. Yeah. And, like coming from somewhere like Hamtramck, or, like from downtown Detroit, or, it's a little bit different. Yeah. And, but actually, when we first came here, like everybody love us. And my dad, he's...
Did you know that going into it, by the way? Did you know that it was going to be a different... How well did you know Rochester?
Like, I feel a little bit, because it's different area, different town.